Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, bringing you another StarCraft commentary, and this is still going to be from the MSL, the Survivor Tournament, MST to be specific. And this is going to be Group 1 from the Survivor Tournament. It's going to be Jangbi and Hoejja here on the first game, and then in the second game we will have Sack, a Terran player from SKT, and Hoejja, a pretty good Zerg player from Hype Entis. So that's the group. So the way the MST works, if you don't remember from the previous seasons, you have the initial games where the 4 players will play, 2 1v1s, and the winners will play each other. The winner of the winners game advances out of the group. The losers play, and then the loser of the winners game, the winner of the losers game, the 2 of them play, and it's basically double elimination. So the 2 players who end up with 2 wins get out. 2 players with 2 losses are gone. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and you play anywhere from 2 to 3 matches. So that's where it stands. And I gotta think this is my prediction for this group is Jangbi and Hoejja getting out. Jangbi is good enough. I mean, he's slumping pretty big, but I think he's good enough to get out of this group. Hoejja is probably, right now, Hoejja is probably a little bit of a better player than Jangbi is, because of Jangbi, you know, just struggling so much recently. But Sack is... it's Sack. It's a Terran player. Jangbi's really good versus Terran, and it's Sack. He's not very good. So he's pretty much an unknown, but he doesn't look very impressive. Let's just put it that way. And Hoejja, I know Jangbi has a 3-0 record against Hoejja, and I've seen him play a couple times against Hoejja, and I think Jangbi should be able to come out with a win in this this first game. I think it's I'd say it's likely even that Jangbi comes out with the win. And this map is Aztec, so the first maps will be Aztec, so for both the initial games will be here. And we saw a pull first there from Hoejja, and Jangbi getting that scout on right off the bat. That's always nice for him. And he's probably going to be a nuisance with this probe. Yep, he's just going to bother the hatchery as long as he can, the drone, you know, the usual. We'll see if Hoejja actually brings off a second drone or not. That would be good for Jangbi if he can force a second drone off. They usually like it when they can force that. But yeah, I really think Jangbi will do well on this map. I think he's going to be able to take. I think he's going to go for his mineral only. You know, he's going to get that natural. He's going to get the mineral only to the left of his natural and try and just dominate his big ramp and build up his forces, get this big blob of Protoss units, and just go after that. And Jangbi just lost his probe to a drone. But it was probably going to die in about a second anyways, because the Zerglings were coming in. It really wasn't not much of a chance of survival, so that is what it is. And there's the Nexus already down, and the cannon's following up, so this might be a little bit close. I think he'll be fine. Yeah, he should be okay to fight off these Zerglings. I don't think he'll allow too much of a run by, and he's not allowing his own drone to go mine. That was kind of funny. Or not mine, to go set up a third base is probably what it's going to go do. And yeah, Jangbi's setting up the gateway, so he is fine. He's got a nice little path to the left of his Sim City for all of his units, and he's not going to have to blow anything up. We've seen a lot of players build Sim Cities where they end up having to blow up a building, blow up a... On some of the maps there's like eggs. I forget which map. One of the maps, I think, I don't remember. One of the maps has eggs that a lot of players use as part of their SimCity, and then they just blow up the egg at some point later, and then to get all their units out, particularly Dragoons, which just have so much trouble. So that's what some players do, but this is just going to be a usual alleyway on the left. And it looks like Hoejja went and took the base at the 9 o'clock position. That is a natural expansion to the main over there, so he's got his choice of third bases. A lot of players have been going for it. He might have gone for the 3 o'clock position, but I think the 9 o'clock position is a little bit farther away, so if Jangbi goes and attacks it, it lengthens Jangbi's attack time, but at the same time you gotta think the 3 o'clock position is closer to Hoejja's base, so it's easier to reinforce. It's got pros and cons to both sides, but he's going with the 9 o'clock position because it will probably because it lets him get the other main. It's probably the big reasoning to go for that one, rather than say the mineral only or the 3 o'clock position. Gets him a gas and access to the main if he can hold it. So that's the plan right now. And just taking a look at what Jangbi's doing, we got the cybernetics core, and is the forge spinning? I don't think the forge is spinning yet. Not quite. The cybernetics core did just finish, so we should be seeing all of the usual tech. Pretty standard openings from both these guys. Nothing too special going on. Seems like PVZ has gotten to that point where the beginning is pretty normal, unless someone does something funky and goes for like a lot of lings or something like that. And kind of the same thing in DBZ has gotten pretty normal too. For the most part, not every game, but for the most part, TVZ has gotten pretty normal with 1 rack expand and Zerg players usually 12 hatching just very normally. And there's a forge spinning actually already, so we got the forge spinning and the second assimilator going down. So he's going to get a pretty early +1, but I don't think. But this isn't going to be the standard +1 zealot speed lot timing attack that you'll normally see. There's going to be some sort of tech backup to it, whether it's more Corsairs than normal, or if it's maybe he'll go for a robotics facility, maybe try and get a Reaver out as well. So it'll be a lighter +1 speed lot attack with some sort of tech behind it, and we'll see what that tech is. We do have a Citadel and a single gateway coming up. If this was going to be the standard, the usual +1, you'd see you'd definitely see another gateway at least 3 gateways pumping zealots for that build. Let's see what we got. We got pretty normal stuff going on for the Zerg now that he's got his lair finished getting that Spire up, so he's going to get those Scourge out to try and fend off any initial Corsairs. And it doesn't look like Jangbi's even bothering to build a second Corsair, so we got 1 Corsair, so we might be delaying the second Corsair or not going for it at all. We'll see what that is. And a 5th hatchery going down for Hoejja at the main of the 9 o'clock base. So he's going to try and get that 4th base up and running. We'll see how much he actually dedicates to drones. That's something to look out for, is how many drones he actually produces. Normally Zerg players at this stage will stick to 3 bases, get that 4th base a little bit later, and off their 3 bases pump a lot of units for a little while just to fend off any sort of early attack by Protoss, particularly this kind of +1 speed lot. So that's definitely something to look out for by taking that extra base, that extra hatchery that Hoejja's decided to do. And we do see 5 zealots out for Jangbi on a little bit of assault. Yeah, it's pretty light +1 attack. They should get speed upgrade pretty soon. Should be just about finished, presuming that he did get it, which I would assume that he did, because he doesn't have a Templar Archive, so what's the point to just get the Citadel if you're not going to get the speed upgrade? So gotta think that those are still for speed lots, and that Corsair actually managed to survive. Look at that. The cannon comes up in time and gets those Scourge away from the Stargate, so keeps the Corsair alive, so that gets him up to 2, and it looks like Jamie looking to make a little assault here, but a couple of creep colonies, sunken colonies there, that's going to be too much for him to really break it. At the other side, we got a couple of sunken colonies there as well as a Hydra's Den and hatchery for SimCity, so I don't think he's really going to have too much success on either front getting an assault in, so he's going to have to kind of evolve out of this build. I do like the fact that he has that second assimilator already, so he doesn't necessarily have to commit right here. He is going to be able to get some more tech out before he's forced to commit. He could go for a Robo, could go for more Corsairs. It looks like he has 4 right now, and the Cybernetics core is spinning. I gotta think that's probably +1. We haven't seen any Dragoons. I haven't seen a Dragoon switch coming from him. If you do see a bunch of Dragoons, like if you see a couple of Dragoon rounds of Dragoons, so if suddenly 6 or 9 Dragoons suddenly pop up out of nowhere in the next minute, well, that's probably range. But I suspect that that's going to be for +1 to get these Corsairs particularly pumped and buff. Looks like +2 is upgrading at the Forge as well, and we got a robotics facility. And with the Corsairs, we could be seeing some pseudo-Sarah Reaver, maybe Templar Archives comes down, and we could be seeing some DTs mixed into that. It looks like a full control group approximately of Zealots looking around, but they're really not going to be able to bust into either side. But what they can do is they can dominate sort of the middle of the field by going back and forth. You can see he's going back and forth between the 2 bases, kind of marauding around the middle of the map. So if a Hydralisk force from either side pops out of the base, he can really just take it down. The dozen Zealots is going to be more than enough to deal with any of the small Hydra's forces likely to appear at this stage of the game, and if it should happen to be bigger or if there are lurkers involved, well, he can always retreat. They are speedlots, they're very, very quick, and there's really no way for Hoejja to stop a retreat. And here comes Jangbi looking again towards the 9 o'clock position. Maybe wants to commit, maybe, nope, okay. Just letting that Zealot take a couple creep colony hits and then backing off. A lot of Scourge have been produced here for Hoejja as well. Let's see what he's going to do with that. Is he going to try and and pick off these Corsairs. There is that one cannon, not a lot of cannons, but one. At the time, Jangbi is throwing up that third base at his mineral only, so getting at that third base up and running. He's got a DT there to help defend, so that's probably going to be pretty safe to defend unless Hoejja is able to pick off a bunch of these Corsairs with those Scourge. And it looks like he's also produced some Mutalisk as well, so it looks like he really wants to take out these Corsairs. He's going to come in with the Mutalisk, try and mix in the Scourge and clone them as well as he can, and try and take down as many Corsairs as possible whenever he can get that sort of engagement. A couple more gateways coming down as well, and an observatory for that robotics facility. You haven't seen a shuttle or anything yet. Certainly no support bay either, so I'm looking to see if it's just for observers or if he's going for something. Oh yes, there is a shuttle. There is a shuttle. Couple cannons coming up for Jangbi as well. Kind of odd position there. Those cannons will do virtually nothing against a Mutalisk harass on that mineral only, but it will give him a little bit more support at the ramp. So if he tries to defend that upper ramp, it will give him a little bit more defense there with his units. And Jangbi seeing that Zergling at the bottom left and is moving around it, so I don't think Hoejja has any idea of that shuttle that's going towards the 9 o'clock main. A lot of Scourge. They're trying to get at these Corsairs, and I don't think Jangbi knows about the Mutas quite yet. The Mutas are about to be revealed. I think they were just revealed. So Jangbi knows that they're there. He knows that there is a risk, and this is a 3 Zealot and 1 DT drop into the 9 o'clock main. At the same time, this Zealot force is moving across the right side of the map, looking to maybe try and put on some pressure at the main, maybe try and get these Mules kind of confused, don't know which way to go. And that DT has 7 kills. I think those are all drone 8 kills, all drone kills. So that is a very, very successful DT, and the Zealots and the DT were able to take down a second colony and a creep colony as well. And now these 3 Zealots should probably go do something, because they're going to die to these Mules. They should just go charge something, attack something, see if they can get another drone or something. And this DT hanging out underneath an Overlord are going to get maybe 2 more kills. No, just 1. Whoa, almost had a sneeze there. It just came and I lost my breath there for a second, but I'm okay. And we got another drop coming in for Jangbi, so another 4 Zealots coming into the main, and they're going straight for the spawning pool. Going to try and take down the spawning pool. 4 Zealots could very well do this. Looks like the shuttle taken down by a whole lot of Mutalisk and possibly a Scourge as well. And that spawning pool is so close to die. Oh man, I can't read that for sure, but I think it's either 1 or 2 hits away from dying. So almost made that shuttle and all those Zealots very, very worth it. Unfortunately, gets nothing in the end, killed nothing with that second drop. So that second drop didn't do too much at all, and a hive morphing as well for Hoejja as we speak. And wow, this Corsair and Muta Scourge thing going on here, this is really kind of interesting. I think we've gotten to the point now where Jangbi's with that Archon, he's starting to build up some Dragoon numbers. It's an interesting spot. I mean, those Corsairs still could go down, but I think he's in a pretty good spot to defend against them. And it looks like here come the Scourge. They are going to try and engage. Storm's coming down as well. Jangbi worried about his High Templar getting picked off, and they do all get picked off. And these Scourge actually look like they got a couple of hits down on the Corsairs, took down 1 or 2 of them. But the Mutalists did the main part of their job, and that was to take down the Stormers, the High Templars, and they were able to do that with pretty effectively. The extra storms will place, but it did just as much damage to Jangbi's army, it seemed, as it did to those bunched up Mutalists. But oh wow, what happened to those Mutalists? Looks like they were maybe hanging around where they shouldn't have, and took a couple shots that they shouldn't have. Maybe a little hooking going on there by Hoejja. Hoejja building up quite a little force there at his main, and his natural looks like, yeah, he's getting some Hydras there as well. A lot of Second Colonies going down, so a lot of turtling going on for Hoejja at this point. But Jangbi playing it very, very smart, not forcing the issue at all. Just, if you're gonna turtle, well, he's just gonna play it passively, just gonna play, take what, as they say, like the sports analogy, take what your opponent gives you. If he's gonna turtle up and play defensive, well then take extra bases, take the economic lead, and keep building up your forces, and that's exactly what